Hey there, Stampers and Crafters. Tammy Williams here, and I am going to show you 7 different ways to use your silicone mat. This is the ideal tool to add to your crafting space. So let's get started. Step number 1, or tip number 1, is to use it with your hot glue gun. When it drips onto this silicone mat, it will just come right off. Look at that. You can just rub it with your finger and it just comes right off the silicone mat, and you can just toss it away. So that's your first use. Your second use that you can use this silicone mat for is for adhering your cardstock. So if you've got a piece of cardstock that you need to adhere, and you are using your tape runner, and you just kind of go off the edge of it and go off all the way to the end, you can go right onto the mat and there's nothing on the mat. It doesn't leave any residue behind. So then you can just go ahead and adhere it to whatever you need to adhere it to, just like that. So that's your second use for this silicone mat. Your third use is to create mirror images. So if you have a stamp that you want to stamp the reverse image of, like for example, I'm going to do this beach chair. I want another beach chair on this side of the umbrella, only facing the opposite direction. So in order to reverse the image, I just will stamp that same image on my silicone mat, ink it up real good, and then put the ink on the silicone mat like that. And then take it and flip it over. And because you can see through this mat, you can see exactly where to place it. So I'm going to put it right there. Press down to transfer the ink from the silicone mat to the cardstock, and lift up, and voila, look at that. I've got my chairs going in 2 different directions now. So that is another way to use your mat. And then just wipe off the excess ink after you're done. So that mirror image is really a fun technique. You want to give that a try. So that was the third way to use your silicone mat. The fourth way is to use a re-inker and just drop a little drop of ink onto it, and then use your aqua painter and drip a little bit of water into it like that, and mix it up, and then you can use it as a wash on your cardstock. So just like that, and just add as little or as much ink as you want. And make sure to clean your aqua painter by just squeezing some more water through it until there's no more ink coming through. And then again, just wipe it off. And there you have it. So that's the fourth way to use your silicone mat. The fifth way is to use it as a shim with your embossing machine. So if you've got a very thick embossing folder, so this embossing folder here is rather thick, and so it would be very difficult to, or impossible actually, to use both plates plus your platform plus your embossing folder and run that through your embossing machine. It's just going to be way too thick. So if you remove one of the plates and just use one plate with your embossing folder and your silicone mat as a shim, you can just make your little sandwich and run it through your embossing folder. So that will just give you a little bit of extra height, or so that it'll go through quite nicely. So that's another use for the mat, is just to use it as a shim. And then that leads to number 6. The 6th way to use this silicone mat is with your liquid glue. And if you have a very detailed die, so look at this die here. This seahorse has not a lot of space to put glue without it, smearing and going outside the lines. So what you want to do is put the glue on the silicone mat and use a sponge. So you would put your glue on your mat and use a sponge and just kind of sponge it up, and then add your glue like that. And then adhere it to your card base or your stock, whatever you're going to attach it to. There you go, just like that. So then you can either wait for it to dry or you can run it under cold water. And the 7th thing to use it for is for adhering vellum. So I've got this piece of vellum. So vellum is very see-through. So if you put glue dots or dimensionals or at your tape runner, if you use your Stampin' Seal, it's going to leave a line wherever you run it across. So again, you're going to add a few drops of glue to your silicone mat, and again use your sponge and pick some of that glue up and just sponge it on like that, and then adhere it to your cardstock like that, and it's virtually invisible. You can't really see that glue behind it at all. So then when this glue is dry, you can just rub your finger across it. Well, it's not quite dry yet, but or you just use a paper towel and it just will come right up. Just like that. You just and there you have it. It's not sticky anymore. All the glue is gone and it's ready to be used once more. So those are your 7 tips, 7 uses for the silicone mat. If you need to place an order, you can go to tammywilliams.stampinup.net and place your order for the silicone mat, or you can contact me and I will be glad to help you. Thanks for watching, and this is Tammy with TammyLovesStamping.com. Thanks, and take care, and God bless.